Okay, so in your second body paragraph, you say the writing mentions how fast food restaurants provide fast and cheap food, which is true. You say which causes, you want to say here, and promotes obesity, I would say in the long term, not plural there. Contrary to this, the audio shows a different perspective on that matter. How about, what if you do this, according to the speaker, so we again know who is saying this. So obesity by definition, according to the speaker, is the inactive lifestyle and overeating in someone's life. Okay, so let's take a look at this information here. So I think that paragraph, this paragraph is just a little bit not as developed as the other ones. I mean, let's take a look at it. So we got 51. That's kind of the basis for a paragraph, but you can probably develop this a little bit more. So let's go to the reading passage first and see what we got. Is there anything else we could say here? So what if you said that fast food restaurants provide cheap and fast food, which results in obesity, and then maybe when you get to this idea, it promotes obesity because the consumers are eating this food on a regular basis and in large amounts or something. Just a little bit more, and that would take the idea and more completely connect it back, I think, to that first key idea. Now the other thing here, if you look at the lecture, the lecture doesn't totally discount what was said in the reading passage. But the lecture is saying that we shouldn't just blame obesity on fast food chains. It's saying that obesity is caused by an inactive lifestyle along with consuming more calories, right? So the lecture is not exactly disagreeing with everything there. So if you go back to what you've written here, you can say obesity by definition, according to the speaker, more than just eating too many calories at fast food restaurants. So we have here, it's more than eating too many calories at fast food restaurants. By the inactive lifestyle, by overeating. So if you said that, then you've made the connection maybe a little bit more clear. What's going on? Bien. All right, these comments are for R-E-Z. I'm just using your initials for privacy purposes, and I just read your integrated writing practice test, and you're one of my students in the English language program here at California State University, San Bernardino. So let's take a look. So in the first paragraph, you say, in the previous reading and listening, the misconception, probably put those two words together, the misconception of fast food. Fast food doesn't have to be capitalized. You can just say fast food, lower caps. And lack of responsibility was discussed. Although the reading claims that fast food chains are the reason for at least 3, you want to say here, not but major health problems like obesity, unhealthy society, and gluttony. You say the audio claims differently. Okay, so what we want to do here, you have a lot of information here but it's just probably a little bit too wordy. So I'm going to get rid of a lot of this. I'm going to say the reading claims that fast food chains are the reason for at least 3 major health problems. How about this? What if you say such as maybe obesity, maybe an unhealthy society and gluttony. Maybe say whereas the lecture disagrees with each of these claims. So that's going to be a little bit more concise introduction. Yours was just a little bit too much. Just be really concise in the beginning. Okay, so now we'll move to our next idea. Okay, let's take a look at your next paragraph. Okay, so you might say, in addition, again, you're a little bit too wordy here. You might say, you say argues that fast food chains only provide unhealthy meals and there are no options for vegetables or fruits like there are in other countries like Mexico or China. Alright, so let's look at that. We'll make sure we're getting this exactly. Let's go back to the reading here, make sure we're on the right page here. Okay, so it's saying fast food also contributes to an unhealthy society that is plagued with high cholesterol, diabetes, and heart disease because the options for fast food are limited. Right? They're limited. So we got to go back to what you said. It says there are no options. That's actually, I'm going to say limited. That's probably a more accurate, I think, explanation there, or what we call paraphrase. And there are limited options for vegetables or fruit like there are in other countries like Mexico or China. That's perfect. Now here, once you have China there, you don't want to put the comma to avoid that comma splice. Create a new sentence here, and then you'll say, however. So, however, the audio agrees with that idea. But it disagrees with the lack of vegetables and fruits. Because fast food restaurants have changed their menus, you might put here. You want to put here, making available the healthy option of vegetables and fruits. Again, to avoid that comma splice, begin a new sentence here. You'll say also in fast food menus, I'm going to say not amount but number. The number of calories per meal is well displayed. But not all states, but some states do this, right? So also in fast food menus, the number of calories per meal is well displayed. Maybe here, and the audio also states that eating in a fast food chain does not, you want to put here, does not mean that there are only unhealthy food options for its customers. Okay, so now let me look at one more thing here and make sure we're exactly accurate here. So however, the audio agrees with that idea, but it disagrees with the lack of vegetables and fruits. Okay, so let's go to the lecture for just a minute and check that. Yes. Okay, so you are correct on that. You know what it says is that fast food chains do serve mostly fat and cholesterol-driven food, but now we have created options like apples and fruit. So it looks like you have a pretty good understanding here. The other problem you didn't really mention, you did say that you have these well-displayed menu options with a number of calories and all of that. But you didn't mention the word California and New York because not all states do this. So if you wanted to be a little more accurate there, if you said the number of calories per meal is well displayed in some states, maybe like California and New York, if you said that here, that would be a little bit more complete, adding to what you've already said, right? Okay, let's go to our next paragraph. Say this leads us to the third point, which is again a little bit wordy. You can probably reduce some of what you say. Finally, maybe say this. Claims that fast food chains have provoked. You want to use not provoke but promoted. You want to say that fast food chains have promoted the overeating and the drinking of their products. I'm going to say have here promoted the overconsumption I'm going to just say of their food and beverage products. We can probably combine these ideas, so because most of their drinks are free refills, and then maybe say and because the size of the meals have increased. Again here, you can't, once you put that on the other hand there, that's a transition word. That's showing how the information in the lecture is in direct contrast to the information in the reading. So here you don't want to put a comma there. Again, that results in a comma splice. I would use a period. It's time to end. Then begin your next sentence. On the other hand, the audio claims that it is up to the customer it's up to the customer you want to say here to choose. I'm going to say here the number of drinks and the size of the meals. You want to say here choose to maybe purchase, you might say. Alright, so let's finish this up here. So you get to your conclusion. You say the point of the audio is to encourage customers to take control of their eating at, if you say A, you want to say a fast food chain or get rid of that. say fast food chains. Now it does say that at the end. It says the point of today's lecture is for people to take control of their fast food consumption so we can think about how our choices have contributed to unhealthy lifestyles and not solely blame fast food chains. So that's part of it. So the lecture is admitting that fast food restaurants undoubtedly can cause obesity and problems with our society, but that's not the only reason. You see what I'm saying? So even though when you get to the conclusion, I wouldn't just mention the lecture, but when you get to the conclusion, you should discuss, I think, the reading and the lecture together, just briefly, to kind of recap what you've already said. So maybe this is a little bit incomplete. Alright, so let's take a look at everything now. You say the reading claims that fast food chains are the reason for at least 3 major, actually here instead of healthy, health problems such as obesity, an unhealthy society, and gluttony, whereas the lecture disagrees with each of these claims, right? So that's good for your start. Then the next paragraph, you have the writing mentions how fast food restaurants provide fast and cheap food which causes and promotes obesity in the long run. Contrary to this, the audio shows a different perspective on that matter. Obesity, by definition, according to the speaker, is more than eating too many calories at fast food restaurants. Obesity is caused by the inactive lifestyle and by overeating. Then you have your next paragraph. In addition, the reading passage argues that fast food chains only provide unhealthy meals and there are limited options for vegetables or fruits like there are in other countries. Don't need the S here, using as an adjective, in other countries like Mexico and China. However, the audio agrees with the idea, but it disagrees with the lack of vegetables and fruits because fast food restaurants have changed their menus, making available the healthy option of vegetables and fruits. Also in fast food menus, the number of calories per meal is well displayed in some states, you can say, and the audio also states that eating at a fast food chain does not mean that there are only unhealthy food options for its customers. Finally, the reading passage, put the S here, the reading passage claims that fast food chains have promoted the overconsumption, instead of for of is better, the overconsumption of their food and beverages, make this plural because it is a count noun. Food is not, so you can't put food. So food and beverages, because most of their drinks are free refills and because the size of the meals have increased. On the other hand, the audio claims that it's up to the customer to choose the number of drinks and the size of the meals they choose to purchase. Right, so there we go. So now let's take a look at your score. Okay, so here, I think it's pretty good. I think you have, you stated, I think, the main point of the reading with the counterpoint in the lecture. You did the same with reading point 2, lecture point 2, reading point 3, lecture point 3. So I think overall, I'm going to put you in the 3 range here. Now, what do we have? So, I think you have a pretty good understanding of what's going on. Let's take a look at 4 in terms of your grammar. You have minor omission, inaccuracy, vagueness, or incorrectness. Your essay has more frequent or noticeable minor language errors, but these errors do not result in anything more than the occasional lapse of clarity or in connection of ideas. So you're getting there. I'm going to put you right now at a 3.75 out of 5. That puts you at 24 points out of 30, I think, for the TOEFL exam. Now, for the purposes of our class, the integrated writing 3.75, this is going to put you at 85%. So you saw I made some changes in various parts of your essay. And yeah, in terms of the website, if you go back to my website for a minute, there's a few things you can probably take a look at. A few grammatical things to help you improve your writing. So let's take a look at some of those things right now. I'd like to have you take a look at, let me take a look at it here. Here, Lesson number 25 for sure. Comma splices, run-on sentences, and fragments. That would be a good lesson for you to review based on your writing right now. Also, lesson number 26, sentence variety, I think is helpful at this point. Lesson number 28 is when to use commas. If you can understand this, you can probably eliminate a lot of the sentence structure errors you're having right now. So I'd like you to take a look at that. And also lesson number 27, being more concise. These are specific lessons that can help you improve your writing proficiency right now based on my analysis of the practice test that you submitted to me. Alright? So now you know your score, you know your grade, you even know some specific things you can do to improve your writing proficiency.